want to talk about 3 lessons I've learned and about all of this. And the 3 messages I would give you, the first is to network. I learned everything I know about this by attending meetings like this and talking. It's really helpful to just share. I don't know what you're telling me.
Sorry.
Oh, okay. To share ideas and then just get little bits and pieces and stuff. So the idea of stealing an idea and taking it home is really helpful. In our community, we eventually started a Sustainable Whidbey Coalition, which is a group of primarily municipalities and tax-based groups. We meet monthly, and we bring ideas together. What the other people are doing is just as an example of how that networking works. One of the members of our group is from the Opportunity Council, and Jody Bailey came and talked to us about the weatherization program, especially geared towards low-income families. And my second lesson that I'll take from there is you have to take it to people. You got to take it to them. They won't do it, and it doesn't make any difference. So we learned that you could that they have these great weatherization programs. So we convene meetings in each of our mobile home parks, which is kind of where we have our affordable housing in Coopville. And we brought in Jody and her team. They talked to people and right away got 18 people signed up to have their homes weatherized. And the money that's available is significant to do that. I mean, they get refrigerators replaced, insulation, new furnaces, and it keeps the house affordable. And that's as close as we have in Coopville for affordable income. So just going to that meeting and listening to what Jody had to say, I was able to talk to, we have a part-time community sustainability coordinator. We were able to convene those meetings. Again, I want to talk about bringing it to people. Coopville was able to, after we adopted our climate protection plan as a result of ICLEI and Northwest Clean Air's grant funding a few years ago to get our audit and our plan developed, we were able to hire a coordinator. And what we've learned is that it doesn't make any difference how many flyers PSE puts in the envelope with your bill to tell you what you can do. It really works better if, for example, our coordinator, Kathy, meets with PSE, finds out about those programs, and then takes them out into the community. And a couple of examples that have worked for us in that, she took information that she learned from PSE to owners of multi-family housing units and was able to set them up with huge retrofits for electrical activity that saved them a lot of money. She was able to go to a nursing home in our community, significant savings not only in utilities but in electricity. And they had the same opportunities that anybody else had. What we've learned is you got to take it to them. She's gone and done little mini audits in some of our small businesses in town and held their hand and filled out the paperwork to get them their rebates, ordered the fixtures, delivered them to their door. And I mean, and it's something we feel as a government that as long as we can afford it, we should do. And the third lesson I would tell you is don't be intimidated. When you come into these meetings and you hear what everybody else is doing, I mean, I'm sitting up there with my peers, the mayors on Whidbey Island, and we're talking about, oh geez, we're only doing this much, but how do we get to that point? And my lesson to that about is just start any place. Anything is good, and once you get a little momentum going, the rest of it falls in place. So network, bring it to them, and don't be intimidated. Just start.
Thank you very much, Nancy. That was
This is back when I was with the city of Bellingham. I want to talk about some municipal experiences that I had there. I started as mayor of Bellingham January 1st, 1996, and one of the first things that we did, I was not like on a war path to save the world, but I was on a war path to save money. And the first thing I did was hired a consultant to come in and look at every damn electrical bill that we got. Because, I mean, in a city or a county, I mean, we had hundreds of individual meters. Every meter is billed. Why did we want to look at it? To make sure we were being charged on the right tariff. And of course, like anything in life, we save about 50 grand a year forever by getting onto the right tariffs for all of our bills. So just, if you're in a large organization that has multiple bills, think about that. Get on, make sure you're being charged on the right tariff. Second, we did energy audits. They were run out of our facilities department, which was through Public Works. On a 3-year cycle, it was like Chairman Mao's, what was it, continuous revolution or something. We're on a virtual continuous cycle of energy audits because the technology is moving so fast that you do one this year, 3 years from now, you may be changing your lights out again because they've come up with such a better technology. Third thing, of course, you've probably all done this now, and that's the LED traffic signals. Huge energy savings, huge labor savings because they last. Ted, how many years does an LED signal lamp light last in 2 or 3 times as long. So the labor savings in not having to change those out, the traffic disruption and not having to, so we're really all about, I mean, what I said earlier about doing good and doing well at the same time. The final point is, as it relates to what Derek's doing up in Whatcom County, and which I think everybody wants to have done in their county, and that's have the citizens get access to ways to save energy in their homes, because how many people here who are affiliated with government care about sales tax revenue? Okay, well, if they're not spending it on energy, they're going to be spending it in the store, okay? And that's going to, counties live and die on sales tax, because, I mean, you get, what, 2 revenue sources, Ron? Property tax and sales tax. So get that money spent in a way that gets some return to the county government so you can provide the services those people need. Thanks.
Thank you, Mark.
Yep.
I have a little bit more than 2 minutes, but you guys did a really good job of condensing to 2 minutes. So I'm going to take your extra time. So we are doing a lot of things at Skagit County with respect to sustainability and energy conservation, some of them well. We've started, first of all, with our climate action plan that we adopted at the beginning of this year, with thanks to all of the task force members that we appointed at the end of the previous year. That document is our guiding principle, and there are a lot of descriptions of the programs I'm going to talk about in that document, which is online at our website, skagitcounty.net/sustainability. And there's a table in the back of that document that gives a very rough estimate of the cost savings that we expect to accrue due to all of these measures. Because almost everything that we're doing is designed to save energy or waste reduction, but it also saves money. You know, we're going to save fuel. We're going to save fuel partially by reducing the number of vehicles we buy. Every vehicle we don't buy is, you know, $30,000 or $40,000. It's just really easy to save money when you're talking about sustainability, because everything that you do has a carbon impact. Everything that you do has a use of electricity impact, and that's all money. So First of all, what we're doing is participating in the Skagit Council of Governments Shared Resource Conservation Management Program. And that's Rick Bogie at the Skagit Council of Governments is our RCM. We're participating with the city of Cedar-Woolley and the city of Anacortes, the cities in Skagit County except for Mount Vernon, the ports, Swinomish Tribe, and PUD. So we've got a lot of support of that program. We're directing some of our extra grant funds to that program, and all the other cities buy in, and all the cities are guaranteed to make back in energy savings what they contribute to that program. And as an example, from July 2008, July 2009, we expect that we have saved $13,000 from that shared RCM program. And that's one guy serving 9 jurisdictions. So imagine if you had your own RCM. We're also participating in the GA program that Stuart Simpson talked about earlier for energy savings performance contracting. We only signed the contract with them last week, but we're going to get started very soon on that. We had a few difficulties working through those contracts, and I'm available to help anybody, any other jurisdiction that gets into that has some questions, or if your lawyers have questions. Washington State University also runs an RCM program. If you're interested in that, you know, contact your local WSU extension. We find that there's a real benefit in having somebody walk through our facilities. So we've got some facilities that our RCM will do, and some that we know we are going to make structural changes to that our GA program energy auditors will do. So we're using both of those. And then we probably will have some facilities that we will just pay for lighting upgrades to, because they're simple buildings that maybe don't have heating, but they do have lights, and we can just identify savings that we need to make and work with PSE to get rebates. Part of the RCM program is identifying a set of daily operations policies, which we identified in our climate action plan and adopted as part of our climate action plan, to simply turn off lights, recycle more, turn off your computers. And I know that mayors enjoy a lot of more power than commissioners do with respect to user behavior, and that you can tell them to do things as an individual, or they can find someplace else to work. But we have had some behavioral changes that have taken longer to implement than others, but we are getting to a place where people can shut off lights on their own, and those people that can't will get help with motion sensors and that kind of thing. And these things really add up. We expect to save probably $60,000 a year just by turning off all the computers at night and on weekends. I mean, it really adds up. And you're not using the computer during that time. And especially when you've got 2 monitors in front of everyone, it adds up extremely quickly. And communicating to people the savings. We laid off a bunch of people last year and the year before that, and every computer that you turn off contributes to that $70,000 or $60,000, and that's a job. And it might be the job of the cubicle next door or your own. So we're trying, not by threatening people, but by making it clear, that this stuff adds up. We're about to deploy all new recycle bins, and we're recycling food waste and paper towel waste, and trying to dramatically reduce the waste associated with government operations, because we want to be a leader before we start to ask people in the community to do that. But we do have a couple of community programs that we are trying to put together. One is similar to what Whatcom County is and Sustainable Connections is doing, although we don't have the money that they have. And then we also have a relatively successful zero waste events program that we have launched, and it saved the Anacortes Arts Festival a bunch of money, I think $3,000 on their waste bill. It saved Skagit County Fair a bunch of money on their waste bill. And there are a bunch of events all throughout the county that we want to provide bins to and technical advice so that they can save money. We want to make sure that that occurs in the office, because every little step in the office contributes to, okay, let's quote Chairman Mao, a permanent revolution in how we think about what we're doing with our resources. If you see the motion sensor turn off the light, maybe that will trigger you to remember to turn off the light in your own office where there isn't a motion sensor, and maybe you'll start thinking about maybe turning off your computer at night and not recycling or not throwing away that piece of trash, put in the recycle bin, or maybe just not generating the trash to begin with, and all down the line. So there are a bunch of other things that we're doing. They're all on our website or in our next quarterly report about what we're doing. And you can email me if you want. Website is skagitcounty.net/sustainability. Thanks.
Thank you, Ron.